Shit, what's up, y'all? Cattle Prod back in this motherfucker. Nice, bleak, rainy day. Perfect for some black metal. Satanic War Master, Clandestine Blaze, Split. Look at that. Yeah, apparently they co-wrote those. And then they write their own here, and then they got an outro. I don't know, kind of nice and atmospheric, I guess. It's a pretty good cover, though. I like that grainy black and white. Like, that's so cool. That is so cool. Open it up. Look at that. Look at that big layout, dude. I like how they got the scribbled handwriting in there and stuff like that, you know. I always like that. That's like a rat. What is that? Like a goat horn, a pinnacle, and pentagram or whatever. And what is that? A rat? It's so weird. Throne of Rats. Yeah, Throne of Rats is my favorite Marduk song. In case you were curious, what's your favorite Marduk song? Throne of Rats? I mean, I really like Legion on vocals, but Mortis doing Throne of Rats is fucking way badass. Love those harsh ass screams. That cheap punk rock sounding guitar tone. Oh yeah. Fuck that, let's make it louder. Yeah, nudge that up a little bit. So, what do we got here in the comments section? Lots of comments. Wish I could say they were all good, but there's some good ones out there. Mateo Metal 666. Mateo, did you change your name? It was Mateo E Metal, wasn't it? You changed that. It's cool. Yeah, I like this name too. Thanks for watching my videos, dude. Thanks for gracias, amigo. Appreciate that. And then Yan Luca Cloth. That's a weird name, man. How'd you manage that one? Yan. Anyways, you watch most of my videos. Hey. I understand you're probably busy people. You got a lot of stuff to do. You got work and metal and all kinds of other shit. Hopefully a significant other. And yeah. But the fact that you tune in when you can and you comment, thank you. Appreciate y'all. And then we got another new sub that's been watching a lot and commenting a lot. Taka Yuki. Hope I'm saying that right. But Taka here brings a lot of cool stuff in the comments. Always keeping it relevant. Keeping it relevant, Taka. I appreciate that. Said your favorite Friday the 13th movie is Part 4 and Part 8 and the reboot. So yeah, you're feeling me, dude. Correct me if I'm wrong. 8 is Jason Takes Manhattan. That's right. Was it? I don't remember. But, oh, you like Tommy. The ones with Tommy, yeah. He was in 6 as well. He's 4, he was a child. 5, he was that troubled teenager at the troubled teenage school with the copycat killer. And then 6, he was an adult, and Jason was resurrected. But yeah, the character Tommy, I did enjoy the reoccurring character in that. I mean, technically in 1 and 2, you had a reoccurring character with that lady that survived the first one, and she was in the second one and got killed. Spoiler if y'all didn't know that. Yeah, you agree with me, right? This is for real. the tone of the reboot, the kills, and Jason himself was taken much more seriously there. Yeah. Because, yeah, that's the thing about the movie. Thank you for bringing that up, because, like, in the movie, they realize they're being hunted by him. Yeah. And then they're like, holy crap, that dude's out there. And then that one guy gets, like, wounded, and he's like a trap. And they're like, we gotta go help our friend. And they're like, it's a trap. That dude is out there. Yeah, dude, thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that scene being in the movie. And, yeah, they take him very seriously. And he's fast as shit. And it's brutal. They keep the brutal kills in there. I mean, what's the sleeping bag scene? The one where the sleeping bag has got the guy in the sleeping bag and just whacks him up against a tree? Oh, that was so cool, man. That was in that MKX with Jason and Leatherface. Mortal Kombat X. I liked that one, just because those guys were in it. I think I got it just for that, just because I wanted to play as Leatherface. And then the Leatherface who was... They said trans... Well, see, Leatherface is trans. I disagreed. Because Leatherface was a persona. Whatever he put on, that was the persona he was doing. So he wasn't trans in like the sense that we're used to it. It was a dissociative identity disorder, I think, that Leatherface was suffering from. And he had taken on that matriarch figure because their matriarch had passed away. I mean, you can call Leatherface trans and that if you want that Next Generation, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. Which I liked it. I thought it was good. Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, and they tried like hell to not get that movie released when it did because they thought it was going to hurt their career. Oh, man, that made their career as far as I was concerned. It was like the greatest movies y'all ever did. Especially Renee Zellweger. What the fuck did she ever do outside of that movie? That one with Jim Carrey with the dissociative identity disorder where he was... Me, Myself, and Irene. That's the one. Anyways, yeah, Taka, you've been all over the comments, and I appreciate that. That's cool. And you've read Sin City. What's up? For all of y'all out there to read comics and know real entertainment. Yeah. I knew y'all were out there in that comment section. So what was that, the first track? Clandestine Blaze, Satanic Warmaster, Split CD. Let's take another look at that. Why do I read in the comments when people are like, man, that song, that music you're playing is badass. What is it? Am I not showing this stuff up enough? No, I know what's going on. Y'all are skipping through my videos. Y'all are like, oh, move ahead, move ahead. You don't like the dead air space. I leave the dead air so y'all can hear the music. Am I showing this stuff enough? I think I am. I don't know. Weird comments out there. What are you playing? First 5 minutes, I just talk about what I'm playing. So let's have a fun story. Let's have one that's a little different. It's a true story. So back in the day, I knew guys that had, a few of us out there, we had money to pool together to buy musical equipment and recording equipment. It wasn't so much musical equipment, but it was definitely recording equipment. Back in the day, in the early 2000s, pre-2010, a lot of people would go in and try to combine all their stuff together to have like a studio, if you would, and we would record ourselves and try to make little demos of our stuff that we could pass on to other musicians. So I definitely was involved in all that kind of stuff. And I had some friends that... we had a guitar player and another guy that was kind of taking a producer type role because he was just trying to like flex like some other kind of skill. I don't remember what. So anyways, we had a guy who was basically a producer and a guy who was a songwriter. And I was kind of running some of the equipment for him just because it's easier to do that way. Gives everybody a chance to focus on their job. So anyways, we cut these guitar tracks. We had a drum tracks done, guitar tracks done. I think we were working on bass, and some question came up with the guitar tone not sounding exactly the way the guy who was basically fronting this project didn't sound quite the way he wanted it to. The guitar player was happy with his sound. Normal. So I was tinkering around with some reverb, trying to like some reverb and EQ, trying to make that guitar tone pop a little bit more, seeing if I could make everybody happy. So an argument had happened about the reverb, adding reverb to this guitar track. Producer thought, way too much verb in there, it's a big open room, I don't like it. Guitar player guy liked the sound that it had, that room sound. So they're arguing back and forth. And I'm trying to diligently work on this Pro Tools file and make it sound good so that everybody would be happy. Well, they're arguing. The night before, I might have gotten a little tipsy. The night before, probably had a few too many. Now, I don't drink anymore, but this is back when I did drink. And I like my spicy food. So I like spicy food, and I liked my booze. Or beer, or whatever I was drinking. So I wasn't feeling too well this entire session, but I was just gutting it out. So this argument started. I couldn't get out of this room. They're in this room arguing with me, arguing with each other, and I'm just kind of caught in the middle. And oh man, the tummy starts grumbling. And I'm like, man, I should probably excuse myself, go to the bathroom, and take care of this. Well, they kept arguing, and I just could not get these guys to stop arguing. I was like, hey, check this out. I just added a little verb. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Like, yeah, I don't like it. Well, I don't like it. Back and forth, back and forth. Oh, some stomach's hurting. It's cool. I'm going to mess with this a little bit more, see if I can get them satisfied. Grumble in the tummy. They're still arguing. Then I realized I need to fart. If I could fart, I'd probably feel better. But I'm not sure of the nature of this fart, considering I had been drinking the night before and ate a lot of spicy food. We pause now for station identification. You are listening to Clandestine Blaze and Satanic War Master Split CD. For all you people in the comments who are asking what I'm listening to. So, I'm not sure the nature of this fart. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I've had enough of these two, and I'm going to let them have this fart. And it was silent. And it burned. It actually burned coming out. But it was nice and quiet, just... And I could feel my tummy. Y'all ever had one of those ones where you just kind of feel yourself like a balloon deflate? And you're like, that's what I needed. And then the smell hit me. And I was like, oh no. It smelled like paint thinner and burning flesh. So it had this nice chemical aroma. The stench of death. It hit me first, and I was like, oh shit, what have I done? So these two guys, you gotta imagine these two guys, now their argument had started to get heated to where there was finger pointing and kind of voices raised. And then one of them was like, and the other one was like, oh man, what the fuck? And they kind of like didn't look at each other. They looked at the quiet guy sitting at the computer with his head kind of down like, oh shit. And they're like, oh man, what the fuck, dude? So they left the room they were in. Went out to the next room. And I was like, well, I'm kind of embarrassed. But at least they're out of my hair. Thing is, I could hear them in the other room. They'd continued arguing. They're just like, oh man, what the fuck? Walk to the next room, continued their fucking argument. I'm like, well, shit, that didn't really solve my problem now, did it? They're still fighting. And I can't get any work done. I realized I had another one in the barrel. So I was like, well, let's go outside and see how they feel. And I walked out to check on them in the other room, and they were still arguing, and I let them have the second barrel. Just filled up that room with stench. With that stench of the deceased, man. Let them have it. And so they're still arguing, and then it hits them again. They're like, damn it, dude. Now they have fled. They're outside. They went outside. They're not in another room. They literally left the building. And now I'm laughing. Now I'm thinking, that got him. That fucking got him. So I went to the bathroom, spare you the details on that one. Thought enough time had passed, so I went outside to check on them, because now I hadn't seen them I could not see them and I didn't hear them. So at least they're not fighting. I better go check on them. So I went outside. There they were, like two freaking grizzled war vets, like dudes who had just seen enemy contact and had to experience the horrors of war happening. Their buddies being blown apart, blood and the gore and the visceral nature. They were outside as if they'd just been extracted from this hot war zone. And they're back on the fob, and they're like, two guys who don't smoke are now smoking. And they're sitting there next to each other, quiet, smoking. I walk out like, what's up, y'all? And they're like, are you done? Are you done? I was like, are you done? Y'all done fighting? We gotta finish these tracks. Let's get in here and start working. They both were like, all right, man, we can do this with the reverb, but we gotta do this with the EQ. The other one was like, that's cool, as long as we're doing this, I don't really have a problem. I'm thinking to myself, like, did these two guys just reach an agreement? They reached an agreement. They stopped fighting. We finished the project. I got the credits, they got their demos. I'm just like, wow, I can actually work now. And we can actually cut some more tracks and get some vocals laid down. So like I said, we got everything done. I got my credits on there, and they got their demos, and it all worked out. And I'm just thinking, I farted and ended an argument. I mean, a straight up argument that was bordering on fighting. And I farted and ended that shit. I have farts that bring peace to this world, just because it gives you a common enemy. It's a true story. It's kind of a fucking disgusting one. I find it hilarious. But I've been telling that story for like 20 fucking years. What'd y'all think of it? The fart that ended an argument. This is what you get with Cattle Pride. This is who I am. This is what I do. I listen to fucking crazy ass music and do weird ass shit. And then share it with y'all. Well, anyways, go check this out if you haven't. It's a good one. A lot of atmosphere there. Good collaboration between very dark musicians there. Y'all, I'm Cattle Pride, Appalachian Warlord. Y'all take care. We'll see you on the next one.